What's up? Welcome to my video. Okay, so I'm going to do a series of videos on my 2010 Toyota Highlander, and these videos are going to be about the timing chain. Now, I didn't want to buy this truck. Only reason being is that there was a timing chain. I knew like from the 2000, I think like 2008, 9, and 10 still had the timing chain. 2011 and up. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Okay, because it had a timing belt. All right, 2008, 9, and 10 has a timing belt. I didn't want to purchase it because I didn't want to go through all the process of timing belt and stuff like that. 11 and up has a timing chain. Okay, so basically when I bought this car, the guy who I bought it from, he sold it to me for $5,250. It had like 260,000 miles on it. Originally, I called him up, and the first question I asked him did this car have a timing belt or a timing chain? And he told me it was a timing chain. I didn't have to worry about it, etc., etc. All right, so why did I buy it knowing that 2010s had a timing belt? Here's why I bought it. Because some cars, all right, because he didn't even flinch when I asked the question. It was like the timing chain. I've never changed the timing. I never changed it on this car. My mechanic tells me it's a timing chain. All cars after 2008 has a timing chain, and I knew it wasn't true. But he said it profusely. Said it. He was adamant about it. So I'm like, okay, is it possible that this was a mid-year model? Like 2010, maybe after, maybe it was a 2011, but they still dated 2010, but I took a chance on it. Okay, these cars are going for 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, even for 2010. I got it for 525. Had to do a lot of work, had to do some work on it. All right, and at this point I'm okay with what I bought, except for the fact. Well, am I okay with what I bought? I'm not quite sure on that, because I did the work on this car, all the changes, etc., etc. I did the work on it. Okay, it didn't cost me money; it cost me time, but I knew what I was doing. So it wasn't that much of a. It didn't aggravate me as much. All right, because the amount of work I did on it was probably like $2,000 worth of work, at least, on a lot of stuff in this truck. But I probably could have gone lower on the price. I'm not sure. I didn't try, because apparently I checked out this car at nighttime, didn't see all the little imperfections and stuff like that. But I'm gonna do a video on that at some other point. But let me just go back to this timing belt thing. It has a timing belt. All right, I found out it had a timing belt. Okay, here's the thing about it. I haven't titled this video yet, but I changed. Okay, as far as hybrids are concerned, I'm not quite sure, how that relates to a non-hybrid, the non-hybrid model. You're supposed to change that timing belt every 90,000 miles. This car has 270,000 miles. So you know how a lot of people, I'm guessing, common knowledge on hybrids is that whatever the gas engine has, it has half the mileage of a regular gas engine, because the engine is not running all the time. Is it possible that this guy who sold me this car profusely, adamantly told me that it was a chain, never changed his timing belt for 270,000 miles on a hybrid? Now, if you think about it, 270,000 miles on it, half of that would be 230,000 miles. It's probable that, if the theory holds true, that if the gas engine on this model, on a hybrid, has half the mileage, then the belt also has half the mileage. The belt could conceivably be driven up to 130,000 miles or more with a timing belt. Now, I don't know that for a fact, all right, because after I bought it, I kind of didn't bother asking the guy, didn't text the guy, what the real story is, because I'm pretty sure he'll probably tell me a lie. Maybe, probably, even if I actually told him I didn't really care if he lied to me and stuff like that, he probably would have still lied to me. I'm not quite sure, but he was pretty adamant that he never changed the timing belt on this truck. 270,000 miles, he never changed the timing belt on it. That's what he says. Now, I don't know if that's a fact or not. And he did tell me he only changed it 3 times. He bought this truck with 40,000 miles. All right. So no, I a lot of things were rolling through my head because I was trying to figure out how much, what the real mileage is on the timing belt. So I'm thinking 270,000 miles. He told me he changed the timing belt 3 times. But let's just say if he changed it twice, he bought it at 40,000 miles, and he changed it at 90,000. He changed it at 180,000. That's twice. He sold me the car at 260,000. So I'm gonna guess that this is up for a third timing belt change, and he sold it knowing that the timing belt change is coming up. I'm about 10,000 miles before the next 90,000 miles. Let me sell this truck to somebody and have them go through the trouble of changing the timing belt on this truck. But at this point, I still don't know. But either way, I could see it either way. Where but it would be amazed. It would amaze me if because he said he had a tune-up at least 3 times. Took it to his mechanic 3 times, and his mechanic told him that this truck does not have a timing belt. It has a timing chain. Now I think this truck comes in 2 models. One is the 3.3, one's the 3.5. I'm not sure because when I went to AutoZone to get to see what the prices is on the timing belt and tension and stuff like that. It did come up 2010. One of the model engines had a timing chain, and the other model engine, 6-cylinder. You know what? It's kind of funny because both of them were 6 cylinders. One of them had a timing belt. One of them had a timing chain. I don't know what the real story is. At this point, I really don't care. I own a truck at this point. I bought it. Okay. I'm not going to really go into it too much. But I haven't titled this video yet because I'm going to have a series of videos on the timing belt itself. But this video is pretty much, if you guys know, you guys out there, I mean, is it just a conceived theory that, since the engine only works partially, that the engine, whatever mileage that shows up on your odometer of your hybrid, the combustion engine actually has half the mileage of the regular version of whatever you're driving. Okay, that's my question because conceivably, if the engine has half the mileage of a regular combustion non-hybrid vehicle, then your timing belt should have half the mileage of a combustion engine. I mean, if you think about it that way, then instead of changing it every 90,000 miles, you change it every 180,000 miles. Now, I know most people will not do that, and I personally probably wouldn't do that. I personally wouldn't do that because you don't want to take a chance, etc., on having a timing belt break, especially if it's an interference engine. And I'm not quite sure if this engine is an interference engine or not, because apparently if you do some research on it, there's, some say it is, some say it isn't, some say the VVTIs are, but this model, the engine on here is not. I don't think it's a VVTI because it doesn't say it on the cover, it doesn't show up, etc., etc. I don't know. I really don't know. But that's the question. If you guys know the answer to that, let me know. I really would like to know I think I know what the answer is. Conceivably, if your truck, if your hybrid, if the engine works only like half of the time, there's a good chance, pretty good chance that your timing belt, has the half the mileage that's on your odometer. That's what my answer is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the answer for this question. I'm pretty sure that's the answer for this question. I'm only throwing it out just as a as a what do you guys think? Because it's what you guys think. Because if the service manual says to change the timing belt every 90,000 miles, I'm just gonna assume that people are just doing that just to just for just for precautionary reason. It's it's always safer to take the safer route than to just just take guesses on what my engine probably has like half the mileage. Probably has half the mileage, because it's a hybrid, and I could probably change my timing belt when it gets to like twice, whatever the whatever the odometer reads and stuff like that, something like that.